Hi guys, I hope we are doing well. So I've just finished recording an interview with my student Ben. Now Ben has been on the program for about 8 months now, and very recently he's just withdrawn £50,000 from his trading account to go and invest in property. So head over, check the interview out, let me know what you thought, and drop any questions in the comments. All right, hello mate. Thank you for coming along first and foremost. I appreciate your time. Finally put a face to the name. But first, well, let's start at the beginning. Firstly, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do. We'll go from there.
Yeah, so I'm from Manchester. What I do is I'm an accountant by trade, but don't really do much accounting anymore, which is good really, 'cause it's a bit boring. Left my job about 18 months ago, the accounting job. Just not enough money in it. Went into it, now I work in like operations, do a little bit of accounts, but that's pretty much it. More money than I would say.
Very nice. So over the last, well, we're here for an interview because you've done really well for trading. So let's take that back right to the beginning. Where did your trading journey start?
Probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I won't say it was probably the start of the journey, but it was not the best start. Following signals, signing up to all sorts of scammers on like Instagram. A lot of people fall for it. I fell for it about 4 times. Overly gullible. Wasted about 4 or 5k on it, and it just that kind of stem. I'm thankful for it now, but at the time I was gutted about it. And yeah, that kind of stemmed me to what I learned. So I bought books, watched countless YouTube videos, but just couldn't put my finger on getting the right strategy, sticking to the right thing. So yeah, it was for about a year after that. It was up and down. Had a couple of good weeks and then a few bad weeks. But it was all a learning curve really, and I'm glad for it now. But at the time, it was shite.
Yeah. So I mean, I think most people started with that same signing up to the signals.
Yeah.
It sparks a bit of interest, but in terms of like education, like prior to joining us, did you have any other education, like other courses or anything like that?
No other courses. I was a bit reluctant to put any more money into it because of what I'd lost on the signals. So I was like, I need to learn a free way to try and get that money back at least.
Yeah.
And obviously that wasn't the right way, which I found out. But yeah, no courses before yours.
All right, cool. Well, I mean, you've done very well for yourself since then. I mean, you've obviously done something right. Let's start from, well, I mean, we get to talking about your success because over the last few weeks you've done really well. But prior to that, I was looking at our conversations that we had before, and I think it was around sort of June time. You had a bit of a rough patch.
Yeah.
How did you overcome that? Because I mean, you were at the point of quitting at that in our last conversation, and then the last conversation we had most recently, you've obviously done amazingly well since then. So how did you overcome that struggle?
So yeah, with doing like your course and like being under you from last year, that's when it really took off. And I've just basically gone from, I just took everything you said on board, journaling, going back, learning from mistakes, seeing where I went wrong on trades, down to pretty much everything, calculating lot size properly, which is all the stuff I wasn't doing before. My risk management was awful, and I think that was my main thing that was bad.
Yeah.
So I think around June time, I had a lot going on with the house and stuff. So I was rushing into trades, and I was setting alerts and literally just entering without confirmation, not enough confluence.
Yeah.
Just not what I was doing before. So I just took a week away from it, and I was over trading. I was trying to force trades, trying to trace a loss, which is something I didn't do before. So I think like mentally I was kind of beating myself down about it a bit, thinking like, why am I doing this? Have I gone rubbish at trading or what? You just doubting myself. So I thought, just take a week away from it, relax, and then go back at it with a fresh mind.
Yeah. So you just took some time away, then did you just sort of assess what you were doing wrong or what you were doing differently?
Yeah, just took a week away and then went all over my analysis, marked out the trades that I took, sorry, and I just like wrote down every single trade that I went wrong on, and why it went wrong, and then just kind of set myself a cheat sheet, pretty much just like step by step how to go through the strategy, what to follow. If this doesn't happen, don't be too confident with the trade.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately where a lot of people go wrong. They'll go for a losing streak and then just think that it's just they're just losing. That then they don't ever step back and assess, okay, well, what am I perhaps doing wrong here? And they just keep going and going and going and going, and end up losing pretty much everything they've got, all of the confidence they've got, and then that's when you see a lot of people quit. But obviously,
and I know there's a guy in the. This is where the community really comes in hand. Josh, I'll give him a mention. Josh Holmes, he was brilliant, to be fair. A few weeks prior to me having a dry patch, he was having a bit of a dry patch, and he messaged me, and he was like, "I feel like giving up with it, mate." I was like, "Don't." I said, "Let's share some analysis. Let's see how we get on. Let's start, and then I can point you out. And if you've done something wrong, I can, and vice versa."
yeah.
And he basically he helped me as well when I was going bad. So
Having someone there just to sort of help you stay accountable, really, isn't it?
yeah, someone in the same boat. I mean, like I can talk to you and whatever, and you can say, but it helps someone at the same level.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
good. So obviously since June, you've managed to pick things back up and you've done really, really well. You've had a pretty big withdrawal recently, which we'll get onto in a minute. But in terms of trading around your job, how do you manage that at the moment?
The main thing for me is preparing at weekends. So Saturday morning, I'll spend a couple of hours while the charts are off, and I'll just look at the charts, prepare then, and then I'll go back on Sunday around tea time, about 6-7 o'clock, just see if there's anything I've missed. See if I just like to have a second look at them.
Yeah.
And it's literally like 4 hours on a weekend, and then it just takes me, whilst I'm sat in work, my job isn't too demanding, to be fair. I'm at the computer most of the day, so I can just flick through. I've trading view on a different tab. My phone's there, so just flick through, check on the chart, see where we're up to.
But yeah, so just mainly about that preparation, really.
That prep at the weekends is the main thing. Otherwise, I won't be able to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's ultimately where a lot of people go wrong, is they think that, well, they feel like they have to be on the charts all the time just because they haven't prepared and they haven't actually done any analysis prior to the markets being open. So they're constantly just chasing their tail through the day, and then they haven't actually got enough time to just sit and dedicate some time to analysis to really understand what they're doing for that week.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people think, because it's Monday to Friday and they close at, say, 10 on a Friday, I think a lot of people think, oh, my weekend's off then, so they don't want to look at the charts. They want to go out and do whatever.
Yeah.
Which was my attitude at the start. But yeah, now you just think them 4 hours on the weekend saves you a ton of time for the week and gets you better prepared.
Yeah. Well, me personally, I think I probably work more at the weekend than I do in the week.
Yeah.
I'll spend most of my time doing the analysis, and then during the week, I mean, it's pretty laid back for the most part. You are just sort of waiting around and just waiting for setups to come to you, really.
I think that's the best thing about prepping at the weekend as well, because you're kind of waiting for your setups to come to fruition instead of chasing a setup, like marking up on a Monday morning, rushing, thinking I don't want to miss something.
Yeah.
And then you're chasing the trades.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, I mean, you had a pretty substantial withdrawal recently, £50,000, which was obviously amazing. What are you looking to do with that money? Because obviously, I mean, we've had the discussion before. You're looking to invest it. So what are you looking to do with that money?
So I've bought my granddad's house off him at a good discount, about 50% of what it's worth. Yeah, he's given me like a gifted mortgage, which is like a blessing. So, and
yeah,
I've been able to, even without trading, I wouldn't have been able to afford to have a house with everything else. I've got a son as well, so it's kind of, I just don't have to second guess anything. So yeah, I've been able to put the deposit down in the house, quite a big deposit as well, so there was no issue getting the mortgage.
Yeah.
And now I've got 50k to spend on renovation. These are a bit of like maintenance work doing, and then
Mm.
the rest will just be on improving it. New kitchen, new bathroom, new garden. Just doing
So
whatever I want to it, really.
is that something that you wanted to get into prior to trading? Was sort of the property investment side of things?
It was, yeah, definitely wanted to buy a house. I've stayed at home until I've rented a couple of properties, but only short term. Just, it weren't really for me. It's just dead money. I think I just unless it's something, you know, out of this world, then. But yeah, definitely I've always just wanted to buy, and like now I thought this was like a perfect opportunity. My granddad's offering me the house at cut price.
Yeah.
So I would have been stupid to turn it down, and then yeah, it was just graft and get as much as I can to.
That's it. Well, I think that's one of the good parts about trading is it's such a heavily cash flow based business. So
Yeah,
I mean, the margins in trading are so high. I mean, there's really no cost to generating that money. So all of the money you are making, you're building a big sum of money to then go and invest in things like property or some perhaps longer term investment. So you can start to sort of build that wealth building portfolio as opposed to just having that cash flow in business like the trading is. So I mean, it's pretty wise decisions to go and take some of that money and put it into property.
yeah, 100%. Especially I had someone value it, and like I say, it was valued at about just over double what I paid, and they reckon I could what I paid for it. I could add that at minimum of that value on with the 50k, so it'd be worth three and a half, maybe 4 times what I paid for it.
So then, I mean, immediately there you've built so much equity within that property that you can pretty much go and springboard a property development career or put some more money into trading. I mean, again, just from that
definitely something I want to look into.
From that small bit of dedication you put into your trading, you've then built a nice chunk of money to go in and reinvest, and then again, like you can pretty much build a pretty solid career from that just small investment that you made into your trading at the start.
Yeah.
So what's next then? What are your goals for trading? Where do you see yourselves taking it next?
Once everything's sorted with a house, probably materialistic wise, I want a new car. I got a new one in. I upgraded from my Seat to an Audi in December. God knows what I want next, but I want something new already on board.
Yeah, got the bug.
Yeah, after that, I think I want to look into other aspects of trading, like stocks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a little dabbling before, but I don't want to make the same mistake I did with Forex.
Yeah.
By just going in light-handed and.
Yeah, that's it. Well, education is key in any
100%.
aspect of investing. So, I mean, in terms of your job, are you looking to go full time if you're trading?
Yeah, I think I'm probably looking at around New Year. I'm hoping. If not, then probably just after. But I mean, I'm in a position now where I could leave my job and live off what I've got in my trading account for 12 months.
Yeah.
But I just want to I don't want to do everything at once.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you don't need to, there's no point. I think a lot of people try and rush it, but I mean, if you're in the position where you can trade around your work and you can have that like solid source of income that's very reliable, then I mean, there's no reason to rush that at all.
Yeah, that's it. It pays my bills at least at the minute,
Mm-hmm.
and more. So it's not anything I'm in a rush to get out of. My job's not really demanding. I can trade around it, so it's going comfortable at the minute. So
perfect. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to come and jump on an interview with me. It's been good speaking to you. I hope I hope your story inspires many others to do the same. All the best in your property endeavors, and I hope we can record a part 2 in a few months, and we can catch up and see where you're at then.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little probably an Insta page or an Insta montage or something of the house. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much, mate, and we'll speak very, very soon.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Cheers.